Good morning, everybody, and happy International Women's Day. I thought I would come on here and go live today. Let me just share that into my group. I thought I would come on here today to talk about what it means to be a strong woman. We see lots of stuff about strong women, don't we? And I think in the larger part, women get a really tough time. We have to do so much, whether we are mothers, whether we are wives, whatever it is we are doing, we have to carry such a heavy load. And so being a strong woman, I think, comes innately to so many of us. I think we are very good at multitasking. We're very good at juggling. We're very good at putting everybody else's needs before our own. And sometimes I think we can get a bit of flack for that, to be honest with you. Sometimes there can still be a double standard around what it means to be strong, be assertive, be independent, and all the while still juggling, our own needs, our own careers, looking after our family, looking after our loved ones, and really trying to keep our head above the water and stay afloat. So I've got a couple of pointers that I just wanted to run through this morning about what it is for me to be an independent woman, and why I do the work that I do, and why I feel so passionately about helping women to really understand themselves and know themselves, and to be at peace with themselves, as well as all the other stuff we do around kind of like family life and relationships. So what is a strong woman? I think to me a strong woman is somebody who really knows themselves and is comfortable with the person that they are. Now, if you know any of the work, if you've been following any of my posts or know the work that I do, you'll know that I feel very strongly about raising confidence in women and helping women to be to have self-esteem, to know their worth, to have a positive mindset, and to have good confidence. And so often we can do a good job at masking that and projecting to the world that we are strong and capable and independent and all these wonderful things. But deep down, I know from my client work, deep down, that often isn't the case. And there'll be lots of reasons why that isn't the case. But primarily, as I say, with the work that I do, primarily the women that I work with have got unresolved childhood stuff, not necessarily trauma-based, but unresolved childhood stuff that has stayed with them into their adult lives. So they may be doing really well in so many areas of their life, but their confidence isn't where it wants to be, where it needs to be, and that impacts them in so many areas of their life, in their family, in their relationships, in their work, in their bodies, in their health, in their finances. It touches all aspects of it. So to know yourself and to really be comfortable with yourself and to be at peace with yourself, to be good with yourself, takes quite a lot of work. Like for some people it comes quite naturally, but for others it really doesn't come naturally. And so part of understanding yourself is knowing your strength, but is also knowing your flaws. And being able to accept that, so often in the world, in the coaching industry, we're told to kind of, be stronger and, turn negatives into a strength and, kind of power through and what have you. And that's all well and good. I've got no criticism of that at all, because everything's about balance. Everything's about understanding where those self-limiting beliefs come from, and then being able to grow from them. But it's also important to actually know what we don't do well, and actually be okay with that. Like, we don't have to be champions at everything that we do. We don't have to be brilliant at everything that we do. And there comes real strength in actually knowing that there are certain things that we're not very good at. And that's okay, because there are so many things that we are really good at, and we can really concentrate on nurturing our strengths, rather than concentrating on our flaws, because I think we can so easily be so caught up in all of the things that we can't do, all of the things that we've done wrong, all of the mistakes that we've made, and we don't spend enough time thinking about all of the value that we bring, and everything that we've achieved, and everything that we do so well, everything that we manage so well. And I think when we become more in tune with that, when we become more in tune with our own strengths and our own flaws, we naturally become more empathetic towards others. And having empathy for others is a really important, is an important gift. It's an important gift, and it's an important strength, to know that others are also flawed, and that everybody makes mistakes, and that we don't get it perfect all of the time. I think that is testament to knowing yourself and understanding yourself, and having faith in yourself, is by having faith in others too. What else is an independent, a strong woman? So a strong woman is an independent woman, right? A strong woman is somebody that can do things for themselves. Now, that's all very well and good, to know that you can do things for yourself, and know that you have achieved, and that you can continue to achieve. But what being an independent, strong woman doesn't mean is never asking for help, because asking for help is so important. And that, there again, that can be in so many areas of your life. That can be in terms of your relationships. That can be in terms of around the home, childcare, being able to prioritise self-care for yourself, which is something that I talk about all the time in my work, means being able to delegate tasks, and being able to say, like, I can't do this by myself. I can do most of it by myself, but I can't do all of it by myself, and I need your help. And I've fallen into this trap so many times in the past before, of thinking I have to do it by myself. I have to be able to carry the load by myself. And it doesn't work. At some point we stumble, and we need our tribe around us to be able to help us. And part of that is being able to say, help me with this. I can't do this by myself. And it takes real strength to be able to do that. So, being able to know yourself, and again, it comes back to what I've just said before about knowing your strengths, but knowing your flaws. Knowing your flaws means being able to take on board help. And it also means that when you are asking others for help, others will feel more able to ask you for help too. But we can follow our own paths. And so many of you guys watching, so many of my clients, we're mothers, so we want to be really good role models to our children. And part of that, something that I'm always drumming into my children is to do what you feel is right by you, and to follow your heart, right? Especially with my 9-year-old, less so with my 6-year-old. Know your direction and know what you want to do, but be sure that when you choose your path, and you choose to be independent, and you choose to do these things by yourself, know that they are decisions that you are making for yourself, and that they are leading you to where you want to be. Again, we still live in a society which is mostly male dominated, so certainly in the corporate and industry world. And so being able to stand up and say what you believe in, and that you think that what you're doing is right, and standing by that conviction takes real strength. It takes real strength, and it takes real courage. And it's so easy to have to follow along with the crowd. It's so easy to feel like you need to be doing the right thing. And of course we want to be doing the right thing. And of course we want to be teaching our children to do the right thing. But it's important to also understand what that right thing is, and who is gaining from it, and what the end result of it is. Because again, we learn by making mistakes. And so we don't, we grow, we all grow from the mistakes that we make, and we all grow stronger, and we all grow wiser. And so sometimes you've got to follow your own path, and hopefully it will lead you to where you want it to be. But sometimes it won't, and that's okay. Like, that's absolutely okay too. Especially when we think about, we're thinking about like family life. We don't always get things right in our family life, or thinking about, like I said, a lot of my clients are women, but they're also self-employed. They're entrepreneurs, and we know when we're entrepreneurs that we make many mistakes along the way. But if we don't make those mistakes, then we don't grow and we don't learn. So that's absolutely, how it needs to be. And when we can express that, and we can say that we get it wrong, I always talk about being apologetic, and being accountable for what you get wrong, and really owning that, and really being able to express that in a way that is both helpful for you but helpful to the other people around you. So as a mother, I will always apologise, and will always say when I feel like I've done something wrong or got something wrong, because it's important for me to do that, but it's important for them to understand that we don't have to be perfect all the time. We don't have to get things right all the time. We are flawed, and as long as we acknowledge that, and we work with that, then we get to grow stronger together. And that's what it's all about, really, is growing stronger together. Last thing, there are so many things that I could talk about, but I think understanding your worth, having self-worth and having self-respect, ultimately comes down to, again, being a strong woman. When we understand our value, and we understand the good that we do, like I said right at the top, having a think about everything that you've achieved, everything that you've fought for, whether you are fighting for yourself or whether you are fighting for others, that is a huge gift. It's a huge gift, to know your worth, to know your value, and to really share that with others. And when we are able to really take that on board, and we have a level of respect for ourselves, where we know that we are good, we know that we are intrinsically good people, and we are loved, and we are valued, and we are appreciated, even if there are people around that don't make us feel like that. To know that deep down is so important. And I talk a lot to mums. I'm a mum. I talk a lot to mums. I work a lot with mums. If we want to be raising the next generation of strong, independent women who love themselves, value themselves, respect themselves, are empathetic towards others, support others, are kind, we need to embody that ourselves. So ultimately, this term being a strong woman has so much strength to it, but in a way it kind of misses the point that to be a strong woman, you also need to be vulnerable. You need to be compassionate. You need to be empathetic. You need to know your limitations, to know when to ask for help. all of those things are what makes us strong, or all of those things are what make us determined in what we do. So as the meme on Facebook goes, may we be them, may we know them, and may we raise them. Have a very happy International Women's Day. Take care.